You're approximately 7 seconds away from falling asleep. The pillow is cold. The blanket is perfect. Your body is finally shutting down. And then your brain whispers, "Hey, remember that thing you said in 2017? No. Remember when someone waved in your direction? You waved back and then realized they were waving at the person behind you? Please stop. I found the memory in 4 different camera angles. And suddenly, you are no longer falling asleep. You are lying completely awake, staring at the ceiling, while your brain remasters the most embarrassing moment of your life in 4K. But why? Why can you forget someone's name 5 seconds after meeting them, yet perfectly remember the exact facial expression of a stranger who watched you walk into a glass door 12 years ago? And why do these memories always seem to attack when you are trying to sleep? Your brain is not randomly selecting memories, but it is also not deliberately trying to ruin your night. Probably. The first reason cringe memories become louder at night is surprisingly simple. There is finally nothing else happening. During the day, your brain is constantly being attacked by information, messages, conversations, traffic, videos, work.
A notification informing you that someone you have not spoken to since high school is celebrating a work anniversary. Your attention is busy. That embarrassing memory may still exist somewhere in your brain, but it has to compete with everything currently happening around you. Then, nighttime arrives. You turn off the lights. You put down your phone. The room becomes quiet, and your brain suddenly has an empty stage. So, naturally, it invites the worst performer it can find. This is why the memory feels as though it appeared from nowhere. Personal memories can enter your mind involuntarily, without you consciously searching for them. During the day, they are easier to ignore. At night, with fewer distractions, they become much more noticeable.
But this still does not explain why your brain chooses embarrassing memories. Why not replay the time someone complimented your shirt? Why not remember a relaxing vacation? Why does it choose the moment you confidently pushed a door labeled pull while 3 people watched? Because emotional memories are sticky. Your brain does not store every experience equally. Ordinary moments usually receive ordinary treatment. You placed a cup on a table? Wonderful. Your brain will delete that immediately. You made a strange joke in front of 15 silent people? Your brain places that memory in a locked metal case labeled important, never forget. Negative and emotionally intense information is often remembered better than neutral information, and embarrassment contains several ingredients that make a memory feel important: emotion, surprise, self-awareness, and the terrifying possibility that other people judged you. Human beings are extremely sensitive to social evaluation. For most of human history, being accepted by a group was not just pleasant.
It mattered. Your group helped provide food, protection, information, and approximately the only available social life. So the human brain became very interested in questions such as, did the group like that? Did I just break a social rule? And why did I call the teacher mom? An embarrassing moment can therefore feel like useful information. Your brain may treat it as something worth remembering because remembering mistakes can help you avoid repeating them. The problem is that the lesson usually takes 3 seconds. Your brain keeps the meeting going for another 6 years. This is where reflection turns into rumination. Reflection sounds like this. That was awkward. Next time I'll handle it differently. Rumination sounds like this. That was awkward. That was awkward. Let's imagine how awkward it looked from the ceiling. Now, let's imagine everyone discussing it after you left. Rumination feels like problem solving because your mind is actively doing something, but it often produces no new information. It is basically your brain repeatedly clicking refresh on a page that has not changed since 2017. And the more emotionally activated you become, the harder it can become to fall asleep. Now, there is another reason these memories feel much worse to you than they probably looked to everyone else. It is called the spotlight effect.
People tend to overestimate how much others notice and remember their appearance and behavior. You experience your embarrassing moment from inside your own head. You remember the panic, the heat in your face, the exact millisecond your soul attempted to leave your body. But everyone else only saw a person make a small mistake. To you, it was a historical event. To them, it was Tuesday. Think about the embarrassing things other people did around you 5 years ago. You probably cannot remember many, but your own mistakes? Your brain keeps those organized by date, location, and emotional damage. This creates a strange imbalance. You assume everyone remembers your embarrassing moment because you remember it. But they were busy thinking about themselves. The person who watched you trip was probably not thinking, I will remember this forever. They were probably thinking, did I send that email? Or am I walking strangely? Or I hope nobody remembers when I tripped. Everyone believes they are standing under a spotlight. Meanwhile, the audience is looking at its own spotlight. So how do you stop the midnight cringe cinema? First, do not desperately order yourself to stop thinking about it. Trying to force a thought out of your mind can sometimes make it return even more. Do not say, I must not remember the presentation.
Because your brain now has to repeatedly check whether you are remembering the presentation, which requires remembering the presentation. Brilliant system. Instead, label it. Say, this is an old embarrassment memory, not a current emergency, not evidence that your life is over, just an old mental clip appearing without permission. That small change separates you from the thought. You are no longer inside the memory. You are noticing that the memory appeared. Next, correct the imaginary audience. Ask yourself, how much would I remember if someone else had done this? Usually the honest answer is almost nothing. Then give the memory an ending. Your brain often repeats experiences that feel unresolved. So summarize the lesson in one sentence. I tried to be funny, the joke failed, and I survived. I pronounced the word incorrectly, learned the correct version, and nobody built a museum about it. I waved at the wrong person. Humanity continued. You are not pretending the moment was not embarrassing. You are updating what it means. The memory no longer means, I am permanently socially defective. It means, I was awkward once because I am a human being with a nervous system. Finally, when your thoughts keep circling, write them down before sleeping. A short brain dump can move unfinished thoughts out of your head and onto paper. You do not need to write a 12-page autobiography titled The Destruction of My Reputation. Just write, what happened? What am I afraid it means?
What is a more realistic explanation? Then, close the notebook. Your brain has been informed that the case has been documented. The office is now closed. And remember this, feeling embarrassed about an old version of yourself often means you have changed. You recognize the moment as awkward because you now understand something you did not understand then. That is not proof that you are still that person. It is evidence that you grew. The version of you who created the cringe memory did not know what you know today. So maybe the memory is not only saying, look how embarrassing you were. Maybe it is also saying, look how different you are now. Your brain will probably still bring it back occasionally. Usually at night, usually when everything is peaceful, usually 5 seconds before sleep. But the next time it happens, you do not need to begin a full investigation. You can simply say, yes, brain, I remember. It was awkward, we survived, and the person I waved at probably does not even remember my face. Then go to sleep. Before your brain finds the memory of the time you said, you too, when the waiter told you to enjoy your food. Too late. It found it.